Do you like people?
Yes. They're awesome.
Why do you like people?
When they're in their stars, when they're in their matrix, when they glow like light, when you see the light shine through them, because you yourself are lifted up and you're brought to a place of revelation that beat and surpass any belief system that you had before, and then you have a new one. Some people call these concepts. I get so many concepts a day. I listen for the words at just the right pace, and I pull the concepts out of them. People are concept makers. This is the idea of Leo moon right now. This is the idea of playing around and figuring things out, and in our juggle, in our dance in the world. So I like people. If I don't like people, it's because they're reflecting a fear-based belief system. But I understand within that, this is a big question. Even the people who you call an asshole, those are the people who are really going to help you integrate yourself into life once you're able to take on those archetypal villains. From a higher Akashic consciousness.
Do you think that you're smart enough to do what you're planning to do with your new belief system and stuff like that? Do you think you're a smart person?
I think I reinvented the idea of smart by inventing the scale. So the idea that the scale was born out of is sitting in class among 30 kids and wondering which one was the best. The preppy ones, the geeks, the teacher's pet, the one who got the good grades, the one who had kids over after
how about
school.
the teacher?
The teacher. Yes, who? What was it all for? These letters, the A's and the B's, and what people do with their spare time. Did the cool people be the ones who didn't do their homework and were able to go into school and play it off?
The other thing I wanted to say is some people will say that if you're smart, you'll obey the existing system, and
at every point of Aries initiation, somebody had to be both first and last. They take the current wavelength that you're on. I've sat with so many people through this conversation, and it's at the point of frustration. So many people never found it. Now it's at the point of frustration, which is rising in Akashic consciousness.
Yeah.
Is the idea of, what was I talking about?
You're rising in Akashic consciousness.
About what?
Well, people.
I was frustrated, so I lost it.
People will argue that if you're smart about something, that you'll obey the current order of things and the people in charge, and have respect for elders.
The idea of Aries initiation,
or that you have respect for the people who have the situation under control, and that they're very qualified professionals who've been in the business for 30 years or whatever.
I was about to say,
what do you have against
the biggest thing, the number one thing, Eris, if you want to call it Nibiru, astrologically, in Aries, my only Aries planet, and Aries is the beginning. So when the idea of Aries is introducing a new wavelength, a new concept, the jobs that you work at, the people who invented those jobs, they went out and said, I'm going to try something new. The people who bossy, pushy, ramming, Aries, and we call these people pushy and bossy, but we don't know that they're the ones who really get things. I want to push you down, well I will, Rob Thomas. The idea of being both first and last is they'll either accept it or they won't. And it's held there for in the future.
So what are you going to say to somebody who says it's already taken care of? We know how to do this because we're qualified, and you're not. Who are you from coming out of nowhere saying, "Oh, I suddenly know something about something that I've not had a certification in or any kind of official election for, or any kind of thing like that."
Specialization is based on experience. So being able to take all the vortex thoughts of everybody in the world and calling it a globe and saying...
You're saying the global community approves of you.
The global community, when individuals find me and understand what words are coming out of my mouth, it will redefine it will redefine the idea of smarts for them. Even if they cancer, that's nothing I ever heard before. It's bouncing off the walls. It's never gonna come back. Did you ever want anything in your life? And you look around at all the people around you, and just these people are so stupid. They won't understand. They won't get it. And there are situations where I'm that stupid one, and other people are around, and they're beginning to understand something. Here again, we invented heaven and hell between stupid and smart. The idea of the scale, maybe we shouldn't put, somehow when the numbers, they were at us at school, they gave us 69s on our tests, and they gave us letters, they gave us Fs. These taught us that that the scale was competitive. And it is competitive, but it's a competition of one. It's the idea to really show what you're made of. So I would say, I would look to all the people who are pointing the guns at each other, and all the people in the police cars going out on the streets and setting speed traps for speeders, and all the car dealers who are out there making people pay money for cars, and all the loan people who are giving them money to pay the loans, and all the parents who allowed all this to go on. If you tolerate this, then your children will be next. Insane. I'll think of it.
Yeah.
Then, see, now I'm off my wavelength. That's how Aries works. It's out there, you catch it, and then you're off. You're back into your Taurus rhythm, your fixed Earth. These are the ways that smarts is reinvented in a way that reflects actual change and actual movement that you see with your eyes, that you feel, that you take with all your sensations, and it actually makes sense. Now, most jobs you get, a judge gets a job, he bangs his hammer, they send him to jail. Nobody ever learns anything. The court gets paid for the plaintiff. The person never speaks up because they hired a lawyer. Anything will be said and can be used against you. First Amendment.
Yeah,
everything is
same
expression.
with developers and conditional use hearing meetings too. Same kind of thing.
That doesn't mean that using the Aquarius archetype again, putting these, some people use it emotion, like card sharks, emotional, Cancer. The idea of putting together a specialized group of knowledge from your point of attraction, from your center of your major. You go into school and you ask, what do I want? And that's the center. That you are now the center of your universe, and everything around you will reflect those points of attraction. And you just keep spinning, just keep spinning. Hopefully someone will feed you, or there will be a place while you sleep. There usually is, as law of attraction follows the archetypal story structure. So I would say, on this day, on this Leo moon, Leo being the idea of the bright, shining sun, every scale that they put me through in school, and all the schools around, I invented the scale, okay? Just like Einstein found E equals mc squared. I invented the scale. So the reflection is going to be comprehensive, paradigm shifting.
Okay. Why is being intellectual good? Why is it good to ask questions? Question everything.
Because the ones who don't want you to ask questions are screwing you over.
Yeah. Okay, what makes you a real thinker? Regardless of smarts, what makes your thought patterns very deep in thought?
Well, it would be the contrast of sexuality and relationships, and my grandma's idea of religion.
Well, a lot of people think they're really good thinkers, and they think that they're thinking above the rest of the crowd. What makes you think that you're thinking above the rest of the crowd? What thinking skills do you have, if you will?
I don't look what the rest of the crowd is thinking. Sometimes I do. That's called breaking the Kurosawa disintegration. Um, I know what I know. KNOW. A little bit in this interview, I said think, but I know what I know, and that's really really powerful because I've lived in here.
Well, everybody else is sure of what they know, but what if they completely contradicted your beliefs and said they were sure of what they knew? You know?
Did they ever wear a Neptune and Pisces mystery hat and a Leo moon shirt on Leo, sun sign Leo, Jupiter entering Leo on a YouTube video and presented this at the novelty, this Malada of time? That's part of law of attraction, is the idea of presentation and in timing as well. So this is going to be out there. It's Project Neptune. The last time Neptune entered Aries was 1848, and Karl Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto, and people started trekking out west, the Manifest Destiny. Now, 2025, Aries is going to be hosting Neptune again for 14 years. Now, this is poignant because during the Neptune in Virgo, focusing on the Great Depression, Jacques Fresco, the founder of the Venus Project, and all the ideas encompassing this idea of a resource-based economy, I met him as he was 96 years old at the Venus Project with this group, who I call Project Neptune, who've been able to take, not within the Venus zones of life, but within the reflective Venus zones of life, Project Neptune. I put a name to that. I started putting name to things. I started to understand my own process so that I can go balls to the walls, to the walls, to the fall, till there's nothing there anymore, and then you'd have to climb back up and rebuild it again.
Yeah.
Well,